Welcome back to Null Fates. I've been seeing people searching a lot my ranching video, which I made when this game was very fresh. It came and just after it came out, and since that moment we have got ranching update, which changed a lot this ranching in game overall. And then we got actually one mod just yesterday, which is making ranching even more different. But let's talk about mod later. So let's make new updated version from everything you need to know about ranching in Null Fates. So let's check out everything what we have and then talk about that awesome mod what we got. So in Null Fates we have currently 3 different animals. We have a cow, then we have doe, and then we have a boar. There's many different color variations for cow, and there's doe, and then a male version from it, and then different variations from boar as well. And what we can do with these animals on current stage, cow is only animal which is producing something, aka you can milk your cow and make food from that milk. Makes sense? And then doe and boar, you can use those just as meat source / leather and hide source or in your kingdom. Example, you can tame these animals and then use these as food source during winter if there's hard and difficult times coming. But cow you can milk, and that produce all the time more milk, and then your people will milk it every now and then. And big thing we changed since launch is that now you can see left down corner there's health, and then there's also food bar, which you can see actually when it's enlisted. But you can see food bar, and if I remember correct, this food bar goes from 100 to -50. And then eventually your animal can starve to death. I just tame this boar, so that's why it's a little bit low on food. But you need to remember that once you tame your animals, they need also food. An example, as you can see here, there's not any food what they can eat. They will eat this dense grass in nature when they're wild. Well, as you noticed, you can enlist animals. So example, since you can't get anything from boar and doe, but you can still control this. You can hold and push exactly like you can control your nobles in battle. So if you are on very bad situation, you have low amount of nobles, you have lost a bunch of nobles recently, and then there's coming big raid, and you have feeling that you are not going to win this, you can use these as your meat shield, and they are actually very savages, as you can maybe see if you have had that ravage animal attack in your kingdom. They are very beefy. They are dealing shitload of damage. So using these in battle can save your kingdom. They eat food, of course, but they can save your kingdom. So I would say that it's very worth to keep few in your kingdom if you want. Then how we can tame these animals? Obviously, we have job. You need to have ranching job assigned for someone. And then you need to find animal which is free. There is, like, when you get this animal tab, you can see if there's Quasfas Wanderers. These cows are owned already. But if we select, example, this boar, you can hunt, you can tame, and then you can rush this command if you want. and then your ranchers are running towards this boar if it's not sleeping. If animal is sleeping, you can't tame it, so it must be awake. And then they will carry that animal in your kingdom and in your pasture. This pasture is something which we didn't had before the update. So this pasture, you can find it from Work tab and pasture, and then just add pasture, and your people will carry those animals here. And they will stay in this pasture. You don't need these fences, but this pasture is needed. This pasture makes sure they stay where you want them to stay. Unfortunately, you can't build barn, example, like I tried to here. I built barn, but you can't put pasture zone top of floor. So I was thinking to make barn, and then here we would have beds for my animals, but instead I just rent these all beds for visitors, and they can sleep in barn, and my animals are staying out here. And as I said, you need food for animals, and what animals are eating? Only thing what they eat is straw, what you get from dense grass. Many has asked from me that how they can feed animals, because you can't get too much this dense grass, and they eat little bit that. An example, especially during winter time, how to make sure my animals has enough food. My tip is that you build silo and then fill this silo during our first year, and then maybe after first winter you can start taming animals, and you have enough, hopefully enough straw to keep them fed. Example, remember that straw roof is using straw, so depending what materials you're using on your buildings, you maybe need a straw as well on buildings. So it can be very difficult to keep up amount of straw you need, especially when you need collect this straw from grass. But that awesome mod, what I was talking about, K farming came out yesterday, and that will allow you to farm hay, and then you can get that way straw, so you can get much faster or much more straw if you just have good enough farmer. You need a farming level 9, so it's not any early game thing, which is very nice, but farming 9 is required for farming hay, and this way you can keep up more easily your hay need while you are building, while you are collecting free hay. You can also farm it. This is wonderful adding in game and wonderful mod to add in your game. But I will make mod review from that K farming. Overall, it's adding so much stuff in game and farming, so I will make own video from it, but just small mention about it, that will help your ranching a lot. But hey, let's have a quick summary. So we have 3 types of animals. You need pasture to keep them wherever you want them to stay. Then you need someone having a ranching job, and then they can tame animals whatever you want if they are free. If animals owned, you need buy it from those visitors, and then you can have it. And then animals eat grass. You can see their food level when you click the animal. They see they eat straw and you get that from grass. And you need to be sure that you have enough grass, enough straw in your kingdom so you can keep your animals fed, or they will be just meat source for your kingdom. And then animals, they can give cows, they can give you milk, and doe and boar, they don't give you anything currently except meat and leather when you butcher them. But if you have a struggle with battle, you can enlist your animals and control them however you want and make them attack. And that way you can keep your nobles alive, because I'm pretty sure these nobles are more valuable than our animals, because we get more animals all the time. But that level 20 crafter maybe is more valuable than your animals. But hopefully this was a helpful video if you've been wondering how ranching works in Old Faiths in these days. Hopefully people will find this video and this will help many of you as always. But hey, let's continue enjoying Old Faiths. Let's see what will be our next video. And until next time, stay awesome as always.